Hello and welcome back to the Common Colt Podcast. Colts Podcast is real takes, no clickbait. I'm Josh Hudgens, joined by Dan Hertzler. What's up, Dan?
Hey man, it's not quite a primetime game, but it was kind of a primetime moment for the Colts here against the Steelers. And man, they look good, man. They looked real good. Kind of rocky start, but they turned around and just dominated the Steelers. And hey, we give one word reaction, Joshua. What's your one word reaction to this game?
Playoffs. That's my one word, baby, because that game meant so much for the Colts playoff race. And on top of that, it felt like a playoff game. The Lucas Oil was rocking. There was by the way, Steelers fans always travel well, but it seems like in Indy, they're just, there's a lot of fans in the area and it's not a long drive, but they were there, but the stadium was still rocking. It felt like a playoff game. The way the Colts were running the ball, physical game, some big hits. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to use the word dominating. I mean, they just, outside the first, whatever that was, first half of the first quarter when they got down 13-0, Gardner Minshew, let's give him some credit. He didn't have to do a lot today, but he made one play on that scoring touchdown, their first scoring touchdown, where he extended the play, held out, then threw a nice lob. Really, I think kind of changed the momentum, got the Colts right back on track. And then they just dominated. I mean, physically dominated a Pittsburgh Steelers team that, like you said, usually it's usually the other way around. And for the first time, I'm thinking about this team, and I'm like, that's kind of playoff football. That's kind of the way that you win in the playoffs. And Colts had just a ton of injuries. You lose Zach Moss, you lose Pittman, and they just kept just putting guys in and that offensive line, man, it just won this game. It was just a dominating game. It was probably the best I felt about this team, maybe all the way back to when they beat Baltimore. It's been a long time since I felt this way.
Yeah, it was an exciting game, and for me, if I'm Shane and I'm walking into the locker room after that game, and if I've got a game ball, you can give the game ball to a couple of people. By the way, the amount of sacks the Colts had today was impressive, but I'm probably going to give the game ball to Gardner Minshew. Really took care of the ball well today. 3 passing touchdowns, like you said, extending plays well, making the right reads. Didn't get shook up by. I mean, they got down by 2 scores, and they just kind of fought their way back. That second quarter they had was very impressive. And there was a corner route he threw to Mo Alley Cox after that fumble by Najee Harris, where it was just a perfect touch on the ball. Probably could have had another one to Mo Alley Cox, and then there was a drop touchdown to Montgomery, I believe it was. I mean, he balled out today. Minshew did.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna give it to the offensive line. I think they really just gave him time, dominated this game.
Yeah.
I think T.J. Watt had like 2 sacks maybe in the first 5 minutes, and you're like, oh boy, here we go again. Steelers are just gonna crush him. But they made some adjustments. They decided, hey, we're gonna control the ball and we're gonna run it. And what was it, like a 12-play drive with like 12 straight runs? I mean, again, that's just unheard of. And that just like we didn't see enough of the Steelers sidelines, but I gotta imagine like those players were just demoralized. Like when you basically say to the other team, here, I'm gonna hand the ball off and you let's see if you can stop it. And they couldn't stop it. That's just massive in the NFL. And the Colts are putting themselves in a great spot in the last stretch here of the NFL season, where they're going to be favored in some of these games, and you know what? If they play like today, AFC is wide open. I'm not going to get too crazy. I don't want to make any predictions, but AFC is wide open, and the Colts put themselves in a great spot.
Yeah, I think that honestly, Shane Steichen is making a bid to be Coach of the Year. Honestly. And I know I'm a fan, and we try not to be biased, and we try to be authentic and try to toe that line. But the truth is, the Colts, after last season, where they had all these expectations and they flopped and they crashed like a lead balloon, picked top 5, rookie quarterback. That rookie quarterback gets hurt. I mean, Shane entered this game with a backup quarterback without a top 5 running back who is hurt. Your starting running back's out. Running back 1 is out. Your running back 2 goes down. You got a guy who was on the practice squad, and Trey Sermon, who is just everybody's leftovers. Your wide receiver number 1 goes down. So you're out your number one quarterback, your number 1 and 2 running back, your number 1 wide receiver, and you're one of the best right tackles in the league, and Braden Smith is also out. And you call an efficient game, like you said, I think it's a 14-play drive, and the first 13 plays were runs or something. Like that is, and I'm not comparing him to Belichick, but that's a Belichick type of move. I remember watching Colts playoff games against the Patriots in the Luck era where Bill would just call, you have Tom Brady, right? But you just run it, LeGarrette Blount, and he would get 8-10 yards, and he just wouldn't stop doing it. And that's what Shane did today. And that's what the great coaches will do, is that if it's working, they won't stop. And we think back, and it sounds simple, but you think back to the Frank Reich era when you have Jonathan Taylor, even back when Taylor was almost like in the MVP conversation, and they wouldn't run it at times. Shane says, no, if it's working, let's do it. And I think Shane has turned this culture around, this team around, in what was supposed to be a rebuilding year with one of the youngest rosters in the NFL. And he's got the Colts right in the thick of things and called maybe his best game of the season in the biggest game of the season. I gotta tip my cap to Shane Steichen today.
Yeah, we've been on the Shane train for a while here. We've liked a lot of those things, but I agree with you. I think this was one of his best offensive play calling. Give Gus Bradley some credit too. He kind of still plays that shell defense, working with a young secondary. A few times they got burned, but they also made plays too. Nick Cross, I mean, where's that guy been? And he just shows up, makes a big interception here today, and so overall, just really. Just a well-called, well-coached team. Hey, Steelers had injuries, Colts had injuries, but you see the Colts players, they stepped in, they knew what they're doing, next man up, all this kind of stuff that you always hear from like the Steelers talk. Man, Colts flipped the script today, and they looked like the legit team, and I think they're moving and trending in the right direction.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I got 2 quick things I'm going to say before we wrap up here. Number 1, Gardner Minshew. Sometimes he makes you want to beat your head against the desk, but out of all the backup quarterbacks in the NFL, I've identified what makes him the best. And it's the fact that he's not afraid to make the play to win you the game. He's not afraid to roll out, drift back onto the sideline and throw down the field. I mean, he can win you a game. He can also lose you a game. That's big. And secondly, let me go to soapbox. What really tweaks me off is when the NFL is going to these commercial breaks when there's a review. I mean, they had a review when Najee Harris fumbled the ball and the ball was on the side. Like, I remember, and it's been a couple of years now, but like they would have like the ref, what the ref was doing, and you could see like what the ref was watching, and he would announce the ruling on the field is reversed, and the crowd would go crazy. We miss that now, and because they have to fit in some dumb Burger King Whopper commercial, and it sucks. Rich Eisen even kind of said, he's like, yeah, we got to go. I'd like to keep watching this, but the NFL wants us to go to commercial break. I don't know. It's lame.
Yeah, it is. It is. The NFL right now is just a weird product. It's so many injuries, the refs, and then just dumb stuff like that. There's a little bit of, man, I wish we could go back to just, let's watch football. Let's enjoy this time. And I'm right with you. But hey, man, let's not dwell on that. Colts won.
Colts won.
Colts won, and they're moving in the right direction, and we might be talking playoffs here.
Let's go, baby. Colts take the win over the Steelers today. First time in a long time, by the way. We'll take that win. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and have a great day.